Okay, let's make a start. It's 1:30 here on this not so sunny Thursday afternoon here in the UK. So this web class, webinar, session, whatever we want to call it, what we're looking at here is just running through ways in which you can make more money in your sport. Because look, who doesn't want more money right now? There's anywhere we look online, on the news, all this kind of stuff is all a bit doom and gloom. Prices are going up everywhere. So look, let's start adding some money into our pocket. And more importantly, look, let's look at the options that money gives us, right? So what is it we want that money for? What can we do with it? Is to give ourselves options. So look, welcome along to this webinar. What we're going to do here is, run through a few little bits. We're going to let you know a bit more about us, what we're running through in this session. We're then going to get into the importance of marketing and brand. And then we're going to get into different ways in which you can start adding money into your business. Yeah. So let's just let's jump straight into it, and let's just tell you as well that what we're going to do, just to say thank you for sharing your time with us today, coming in and basically watching or following along with this session. We are going to give you a free gift, which is a one-page marketing plan. This is one of the templates we have in the marketing gym. We'll tell you about that in just a minute. But it's going to help you with your marketing. We're putting all stuff together and helping you move forward with whatever it is that you decide to do. So just a bit of information then. So I'm Jamie, and I'm also joined here by Matt. Matt, say hello.
Hi guys.
That's it. It's like we practiced that one, right?
Exactly, mate.
Yeah. So look, it's so myself and Matt, we run consulting for sports. We also run a few other businesses as well. So where we basically come from within what we do for the past kind of decade, we've both been involved in marketing and business growth, looking at strategies, looking at ways for businesses to grow. Around about 5 years ago, something like that, we both set up sports businesses. So mine was more so on kind of sponsorship and getting sponsorship for athletes and clubs and teams and stuff like that. Matt was working on big campaigns for, the big kind of institutes and big kind of federations and stuff like that, and then working with individuals on creating the likes of memberships and stuff like that. What we've done after many chats and all sorts, going around, we decided that we were going to come together, and what we did is we kind of put our companies into one, and that one has 4 different parts. Yeah, look, consulting for sport, working with individuals there and clubs. Marketing for sports, that we basically do a done for you service there. We're working with big brands and athletes and stuff like that, and businesses. We put the marketing gym together for people who want to do their own kind of marketing, they want to learn more. And then we have a sports mentor as well, which is a bit of like a coaching, mentor, and advising kind of session that we help you kind of put together your action plan for the next month. So we'll kind of run through that stuff there with myself and Matt and what we do and everything like that. Now, I know that can kind of sound like we're bigging ourselves up and everything there, but really it's just to give you some information on us. So what we talk about in this session, it's coming from experience, it's coming from knowledge, it's coming from the real stuff, okay? It's coming from stuff that has worked before and stuff that continues to work today. So Matt, I don't know if you want to add anything in there on just some of the experience that you've had and the stuff you get up to.
Yes, so a lot of my background is I've worked with people like British Athletics during the 2012 Olympics, doing about 1.5 million emails per day during that time. Worked with Rugby World Cup 2015, Lord's Cricket Grounds, kind of lots and lots of kind of big institutes, as well as, since setting up my own business, worked with lots of individuals like Sam Warburton, Sharon Davis, Mark Colborne, and kind of lots of people, helping them with their marketing, whether that's creating content, whether that's actually creating membership platforms, whether it's just helping them kind of build up that extra income, because, let's face it, sports careers only last for so long. So therefore, having those extra pillars always helps. And so that's my kind of background, just to kind of give people a bit of more info.
I love it, man. A few little name drops in there, and I know of a few as well that you haven't dropped, but that's
Save that for later.
Yeah, exactly. And just to go into that just a little bit more as well, like some of the stuff that you've done. I know, like you said, obviously athletes looking to make more money. that's during sport and that's also after sport as well. And there's also people who, they're not athletes or they're not players, but they're involved in sport, and they're looking at ways to add more money to what they do. That's obviously, the whole kind of setup is it doesn't matter, because the processes and everything like that is the same. What we want to do there is just look at the outcome that we're looking to achieve and put the steps in place and basically connect the dots, to move through there. But like you said, all different kinds of areas, myself as well. But from the local boxing club to professional boxers, going into football, kind of got semi-pro football teams and footballers, women's football, going up to working with League One and League Two clubs on getting more sponsorship each season and stuff like that. So again, look, all we're looking to do here is just tell you that the stuff that we're telling you is coming from experience. Okay, it's not coming from just us making stuff up here. So let's just move on to this. So marketing and brand. It's like we said, we've both been involved in marketing for over a decade, right? And if you follow anything in the whole kind of marketing, sales, personal development, business development world and stuff like that, you'll see all the big gurus now turning around and they're moving from sales, you need to do more sales, you need to learn sales, all this kind of stuff, to you need to be better at marketing. You need to do marketing. If we did more marketing, many years ago, we'd be even further forward now than where we are, because marketing is something that just works for you. When you have marketing, you are creating a brand, and you can create that for your sport. You can create that for your team or club or whatever it is that you actually do. But more importantly, you can create a personal brand. That personal brand sticks with you, and that personal brand means that you can pivot into whichever kind of area you want to. You see this a lot in sports with people moving into commentary, moving into analysis, moving into coaching, all that kind of stuff. The people who've been able to do that are the people that have become likable, they've become relatable, and they've basically just become real. And the way how they've been able to get that across is through their marketing, through consistency, through showing up, basically. And that's what your marketing allows you to do, is to show up. And that's why we really focus on marketing and brand. Now, we're talking about making more money from your sport, and we're really focusing here on marketing and brand, right? And you may think, well, the two aren't related, right? We're talking about marketing, we're talking about brand. That's the stuff that just keeps ticking along. But what this does is, through a compound effect, through building momentum, is your marketing and brand allows you to basically make more money. It allows you to basically move on forward and use it to your advantage. And when we look at marketing and brand within sport, most people will go to kind of like the elite people within sports. So they kind of go to the well-known athletes, to the people up there, and you only need to look at kind of news articles or different kind of mentions in social media to see how much some of these guys are earning from different endorsement deals and sponsorship deals and stuff like that, because of who they are and because of their brand. And I know we put this picture up, and Matt was like, we should take Neymar down because he might be going to jail soon, for tax evasion or whatever it is. But the whole point here is that, it is just a case of people look at the elite people, go, okay, Ronaldo can send out an Instagram message and get paid X amount of money. People like LeBron James just got Nike and stuff throwing money at him. You got Osaka has just become this amazing kind of marketable person throughout the whole kind of tennis world and stuff. And of course, obviously, her nation and stuff like that. And just brands like, you think Anthony Joshua as well. Like, I know he's on a bit of a losing streak, God bless him, and all that sort of stuff. But think about him on his kind of rise up and stuff like that. How many companies were chucking money left, right, and center at him? Right now, this is the big picture, right? You see this, it works. You can see obviously that people are spending money with these people. What's the reason? Is their marketability, right? They know that they have such an audience, or they have a unique following, or a following that is going to engage and be relatable to whatever it is that they're offering. So, for instance, Anthony Joshua, he's in great shape. He starts talking about supplements and stuff like that. What's the whole real goal behind that? Well, it's to big up the supplement brand, to get more eyes on, and bottom line, to get more sales. Right? They want to get more sales. Now, the thing is, everyone kind of looks at this as being, okay, the elite side, they get it, they understand it, but that's all right for them. What about us? Right? So you may be semi-pro, you could be on your way up, you could be in a sort of like a lower league or division in whatever sport you do. You may not even play the sport. You may even have like a business or some sort of tech, or you may be an analysis, a coach or something like that. This is where it gets really cool, because it doesn't matter. You could be a local athlete, you could be an amateur athlete, you could be involved in a team, in a club, you could be a coach, you could be really niche. I mean, you could be someone who you help, say, forwards in football with their finishing inside the box, right? You could be that niche in regards to a coach. It doesn't matter. You can market yourself, you can brand yourself. And this is just a little screenshot here. I'm down in Bristol, and I just went into Google and I just put local athletes Bristol, and it brings up these are the kind of elite local athletes within Bristol. And there's obviously so many more. And just like, little story around that. I said working with different kind of athletes and stuff like that. Local boxers, they can have such an influence over the local area that a local business can benefit just as much by them marketing their business than the likes of the big brands with Ronaldo and stuff like that. Because in relation to it, in regards to the size, the local mechanic, for instance, they're only dealing with the local area. So they only want the local kind of people coming in, right? So that opportunity is there. And, I don't even know if I can say this, because obviously it's a client, but I'm going to say it anyway for the people on this session. But we've got Claudia here, the gymnastics lady. I know that she went to a client of mine who's a dental surgery, and she shouted them out on social media. And I don't even think there was any kind of deal or anything, but just by shouting them out, the amount of exposure that he got was insane. Now she could take that and just package that and obviously start doing those shout outs for local businesses and get paid for it. Right, but the whole point here is just want to go through it. Like, it doesn't matter what it is that you're doing, what level you're at, what you're trying to do. The marketing and brand part here is so important that you really need to take advantage of it. I don't know if there's anything you want to add on that part there, Matt.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you've kind of touched upon it. Whilst everybody would love to be a Cristiano Ronaldo and get deals with TeamViewer, Nike, Adidas, whatever, there are different stages of that kind of bell curve. On the kind of going up on your career, where you've got to build your influence, you've got to build your audience. Because if you were to give a shout out to a local dentist, for instance, but you've only got 10 followers, it's kind of pointless and worthless, and the dentist or the business you're doing it for isn't going to really value from it. So this is why you have to build your personal brand, and this is incredibly important. Because if I said to you, Microsoft, first thing you think of is Bill Gates. Apple, Steve Jobs. Those guys had personal brands, still have personal brands, and we still think of them. So we've got to do that first and foremost. And we've also got to think we've got to conquer our local area first before we look at national, before we look at international. Because at the end of the day, if you can walk down your high street and nobody knows who you are, then there's no point in trying to build a global audience, because that's like me trying to run the marathon when I'm still aching from playing rugby on Saturday. So it ain't going to happen. So we've got to look at that, because everything we're going to talk about, from sponsorship to aligning yourself with businesses to, even things like podcasts and stuff like that, are all worthless if you don't build your audience. So first and foremost, you've got to kind of lay those foundations. And we'll give you some insight into that as well. But again, aligning yourself with different businesses will help with that as well.
Yeah, 100%. I like how modest you are as well, just where you're just like, yeah, I can't run the marathon because I trained at rugby the other night. I'm just straight up, I can't run the marathon because I'm unfit, right? It's just that way.
It's all about marketing spin, Jamie.
All about the marketing spin. I love it. But yeah, look, it's exactly that. Like, you can take advantage of things as much as you want, and looking at this list as well. And I talked about niche, saying that you can be, a coach that is niche. But you can benefit from your brand into a niche area. It could be, for instance, that, your passion is fishing or something like that, and you can relate that in your marketing to become really marketable to fishing brands and, fishing kind of sectors where you can start benefiting from that. And the reason we talk about, your marketing and your brand and stuff like that is exactly what Matt was saying. It's all about the attention. Because once you have eyes on, once you have a following, and look, he said it doesn't have to be massive. but there has to be something there. There has to be some substance. There has to be something which is appealing to people, because once you have that attention, you have influence. And as soon as you have that influence, you can leverage it and you can maximize it. And that's why, again, really pushing that whole kind of marketing and brand side is that once you get that established, once you really work on that, you then give yourselves options for what you can actually do with it. And what you do with it is entirely up to you, right? You just have to ask yourself why. But what is it you want to do? Look, why is it you want to do that? So if you within your sport, whatever it is, it may be a case of you're trying to get to the next level. You're trying to fund yourself within sport at the minute. You need to make more money from your sport to be able to participate, to be able to fund you. It could be a case there that you are looking to move up levels and you want to spend some money on coaching or equipment and stuff like that. It could be that you're well established in whatever sport you're in, and you just want to make sure you're financially free, in case something happens. It could be that your sport's coming to an end and you're looking at different options and just safeguarding yourself and stuff like that. It could be that you're past your sort of sports time now. You just want to maximize, your knowledge, your expertise and stuff like that. It could be that you run alongside sports. So again, you could be in some sort of like coaching role or analysis role or management role or something like that, where you just go, okay, look, I've got this kind of knowledge here. I can really start using that to influence people to get attention, and I can then go after people. So like you were saying, Matt, as well, with the whole kind of local area, I mean, we do this in business anyway. Your whole kind of 3 mile radius, your 15-mile radius, if you can become famous in those areas, that you don't need to worry about global domination and stuff like that, because you can pick up enough business within there. It could be a case then that you, like I said, you're niche into a certain area and there's different people in the UK and you can just, work on the UK or in another country, of course. All you have to do is ask yourself why. Look, why do you want more money from your sport? We all want more money, of course we do, but when it boils down to it, it's just like, look, what is it it's going to give us the option to do? Is it that freedom? Is it the choice to do something else? Is it to move into a different career? Is it just to not worry about, everything that's going on and stuff like that? So that's the big question to ask yourself, why. And do you know what, we can
just to jump in there a second, Jamie.
Yeah.
The why is incredibly important because of the fact that we all know that we've all got a finite amount of time in sports, whether that's playing, even coaching to a certain extent, or anything else. So we have to maximize those opportunities. And if you want to make money from sports, if you want to be able to continue this passion whilst you're physically able and things like that, yeah, of course you need money. I know through my wife, there's an ex-All Black player down in the next town from me. He's a bricklayer now. So this is a guy that played for the most successful international rugby team ever. Actually signed for Wasps back in the day, and has contributed for bringing more professionalism to them. He's a bricklayer now because at the time they weren't earning very much money. They might have gone on long tours and stuff, but his career at the time, was only a finite amount of time, and now he's a bricklayer. There are loads of other examples of that, of even professional athletes that I've dealt with who have been great in say the 80s, and they might have done some public speaking and after dinner speaking, but then they've got nothing. So when COVID hit and everything like that, the bottom fell out of their world because they weren't earning that income anymore. So the whole why is, I think, just to provide that foundation and give yourself that kind of fighting opportunity to do it and build your own brand, because then you are the masters of your own destiny.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's exactly what it is. I may as well let you take over because you just explained it better, right? Yeah. But do you know what, mate? I'm going to go in deeper on some of that. But just whilst I do, look, for the people that we have, joining this live right now, use the chat box. Let us know, where you are right now. Let us know what sport you're involved in, and yeah, let's get into that why. Look, why do you want to make more money from your sport? What's going on right now? What we'll do is do some question time at the end, and we can run through some of your stuff and hopefully help more kind of directly in what you're doing. But that whole kind of why, mate, that story, as soon as you started saying it, then it related so much. Similar thing back before when COVID hit. that there was a guy, he's a rugby coach, decent paying job, got made redundant, was just like, what now? What do I do now? He was just like really like coaching, set up a little kind of academy, so he was basically just like coaching local kids and stuff like that who had a passion to go and play rugby, as a professional, or just get better in what they're doing to be seen by clubs and stuff like that. What we did there is set up that academy. But the good thing is, when the academy ran, he got people in to run that then, because he got offered a chance to go overseas and coach in a different club. But that only came because of the noise that was built around his academy and what he was doing, and stuff like that. It's just so good when things work out that sort of way, when it could have been crazy. That whole kind of COVID thing caught most of us out. But yeah, just those stories about how many times have you heard it, like world champions and stuff like that, and then they end their sport, there's no money there, and they have to go and find a job somewhere else. It's like, look, we got this kind of tagline, that I used to use before, and we kind of brought it along. And it's like, look, so many people in the sports world end up broke. We don't want you to be one of them. So like, do the things now to make the money, and obviously give yourself options, and you can go forward. And like I said, look, that whole kind of money side, it could be that there's something deeper. It could be that you have friends and family and stuff like that you want to look after. It could be that you want to make a difference in your local area or your sport. You could have some big kind of passion. We're talking with a couple of guys who kind of joined together in the MMA sector, and they want to change the game in the UK, with the whole kind of UFC setup, and do something completely different. We're talking through that with them. So it just comes down to whatever it is that you want to do, that you can do it. And it's like, yeah, that you may have people kind of coming up through sports, and it's like, you want to be seen. You want to be seen by people who can give you that chance, who can give you that opportunity. It all comes back to marketing and brand. So
just to jump in there.
Yeah.
So we've had Mark on the chat saying that he's from a football club in Northern Ireland and wants to look at things commercially and things like that. So the stuff we're going to talk about, you can use no matter where you are, whether you're looking at things commercially from a club point of view, whether that's a small, like James said, a small boxing club, right the way up to some of the bigger clubs, or whether you're looking to do it personally as well and build your own brand as a player, as a sports person. So all of this will very much be applicable.
Yeah, 100%. And that whole kind of sponsorship side, do you know what? We're going to run through 5 ways to make money from your sport, and we'll start things off with just going into sponsorship, because that there is something that I think everyone kind of understands. Everyone can take advantage of. Everyone can use this, use this opportunity to get money in. But a lot of people are reluctant to do that. I mean, I've worked with so many different kind of sports people and clubs and stuff like that, where they've just gone, well, who would want to sponsor me? Why would anyone care, to sponsor me and stuff like that? And, I'll tell you in a minute, the whole real reason, well, we've kind of run through it already, is that attention, right? It's the way you can leverage your audience, your following, to influence someone's decision to go with a company or to work with a company and stuff like that. And we obviously doing this web class, we've got a lot of videos and stuff like that we've done. And we spoke with a company to basically sponsor us in giving us some kit to wear, on the videos to look sharp and stuff like that. So that'll be coming soon, different things. So you can sponsor, basically, you can get sponsorship for anything, really. But sponsorship in sport, look, what's really cool is that you can leverage it to, any kind of level. So going back to, you probably see this as well. Now, where the difference is within the different kind of levels is, you imagine you've got, say, that the kids football team, they need a new kit for the season. They may look for a local business to give them some money to pay for the kit, right? That's one form of sponsorship, and that can go all the way through and stuff like that. You then have a sponsorship where it comes to, you're actually trying to benefit financially from, yourself individually, from the from a club or team or something like that, and you put together packages in a way where you say, okay, look, if you sponsor me for X amount of money, this is what you get. And you kind of run through, and it can be things like shout outs on social media, it can be logos on websites, wherever it is. If it's a club and stuff like that, it could be a board on the side. All different kind of things can work here. You get to decide, obviously, what you put into that package, because you then get to present it to people. I see so many people on social media. I was going to apologize and say, look, if you're watching this and you're one of them, I apologize, but I'm not going to say that, because look, there's a wrong way of doing things, right? How many times you go onto the likes of LinkedIn or something like that, and you'll see sponsorship opportunity, And you actually read it and you're just like, where's the opportunity? There's no opportunity. You just want my money. It's that thing there where it's like, if we can actually put together a package that really benefits someone and we can show them how it benefits them, they'd be queuing up all day long. And that's all we need to do here. And just a quick story on this on a local level, local boxing club, amateur boxing club, non-profit. They just said, look, we need to get more people into the gym and stuff like that. Ran social media for a little while, got people into the gym. They said we put on one show a year because we lose money by putting on the show. We put sponsorship packages in place. They run 4 or 5 shows a year now. We then got sponsorship for the club so that they can send boxers away, on different shows and stuff like that. They've now established themselves as a pathway to the pros boxing club. And they've got people coming from everywhere to train with them to kind of then move into the pros and stuff like that. So just by little things, it gives you options. It lets you go up. There's that whole kind of saying as well of like when you get onto an airplane and they run through the kind of safety brief, they say when the oxygen mask come down, put it on yourself first because then you can help other people. Right? Where if you try helping other people, you're going to suffer yourself. So the whole point here is that, look, once you start looking after yourself and you start making money, you can give yourself options. Like the guys, the pathway to the pros. Like how awesome is that now that there's people who wouldn't have a chance a few years ago. They now have a chance to get into the pros, and that just because this exists. So your whole kind of sponsorship side there, you can really take advantage of this. When we get up to levels like, say, we get into like, say, Premier League football, and we take Manchester United, City, and stuff like that, it becomes more of partnerships. And you'll see things like you'll see a board in it, it's a official whiskey partner or coffee partner and stuff like that. And all that really means is that basically the company has paid some money to obviously become a sponsor, but then the club has basically paid money back to them in regards to like a contract where they can supply the club and stuff like that with their stuff. So for instance, like just say Lavazza, the coffee brand, they basically partner with the club. Well, all the kind of restaurants and stuff like that within the club now serve Lavazza coffee. So it's like a give and take kind of thing. That's the partnership side. But that middle ground and that earlier ground is where we really focus on, is the sponsorship. And you can go a bit deeper there as well. And instead of it just being sponsorship where, you get the actual, just like a fee, you could turn it into commission. And you see this a lot with kind of like ambassador deals and affiliate deals and stuff like that, where you can basically turn around to say, a supplement company and stuff like that and say, okay, I want to become, an ambassador for you and I want to get commission on everything I sell. And you can obviously get more sales that way. And again, it could be on a local kind of level. You could be working with like the local plumber, for example, if you really wanted to. And you could put a little deal there where you say, okay, look, for anyone who comes through this link or anyone who messages through my social media, I want a cut, and you agree that in time, and you can start taking a commission. So that's the first part there, really, of one way, is setting up sponsorship, setting up commission. And like I said, you can do this on just about anything that you want. It just has to be, a fair exchange to the person who wants to be sponsoring you, so that basically both party benefits. That's all it is, really.
Just to kind of go over that as well. I think, not to be negative, but where a lot of sponsorship kind of fails is that when people go to sponsors and say, well, do you want to sponsor for X amount? The first question is, like it would be for anyone, is what's in it for me? Because let's face it, we always put number one first. So therefore, if you're approaching somebody and saying, do you want to sponsor a board at the club, or do you want to sponsor my training kit for my training camp, or or go and write down the basics, do you want to sponsor my gym membership? People are always going to ask, what's in it for me? And this goes back to then knowing having your audience, but also just having something prepared that says, look, if you're going to sponsor me for X, then you're going to get Y. Jamie mentioned it earlier, but just having that document to hand so that everybody knows where they are. It's all completely transparent. The sponsor knows exactly what they're going to get for their money. The person or the company being sponsored knows exactly what they've got to do in order to keep that sponsorship and maybe do it a little bit extra. But it also works on the other way of going, don't give everything away. There's always that kind of issue sometimes where you give too much away for too little. You undervalue yourself and your reach. So make sure that there is that kind of balance before going into it.
Yeah, I love it. Like two quick stories on that as well, just where I've seen people get it wrong. I can remember working with a boxer, and they had a fight coming up, and they said they want to get some more sponsorship and stuff like that. And we basically run through, okay, look, what can be sponsored, what's already in place. And for they wear a t-shirt to the ring, and their corner wears a t-shirt and stuff like that. They had already agreed a deal with a local company to basically be the front kind of chest sponsor. Right. So they've taken up like nearly all the real estate on that t-shirt. It's like, okay, like how much did they pay? £50. It's just like, okay, how am I going to ask someone to pay 500 now for a smaller logo underneath? It's like, it just becomes really difficult. And another one there as well, again, in boxing, there was a guy like, he was decent. He was about kind of like 12 fights undefeated and stuff like that. Fight coming up, and he was making weight. And if you know anything with boxing, that they need to make the weight, leading up to it, and they become really kind of frail and stuff like that. And you got your dog on the go again now, right? But we had with that boxer, they had a sponsor, and they paid something like £300 or something like that to sponsor them. And what we basically looked at, what the company wanted there was for this boxer to go to their go to their showroom. They were selling cars. They want them to go to the showroom on the week of their fight. So they were at their lowest, kind of making the weight. They were really kind of tired and stuff like that. But they were really insistent. They were just like, look, we need you here and stuff like that. What do we sponsor you for if you can't come and do this for us and everything like that? And the guy had to go along. He was really tired, and it really done him over. And it's just like, look, he needed that £300 leading up to it and stuff like that. So he did it. But the reason that he did it as well is that there was nothing set. That there was no kind of set thing where it says, look, this is what we do for the money that you pay us. So it's like there was nothing that they could do, or there was nothing that he could say, look, this is what you've paid for. If you want something extra, then it's more, and stuff like that. There was no real grounds to do it. So if you are going to go down sponsorship and stuff like that, just get those packages right. So no one can basically say, okay, look, what am I getting here? It's in black and white. People know exactly what you're getting, because you don't want to be caught out. And obviously then, stitched up sort of later down the line and stuff like that. Or like I said, that point where it's just like, you give too much away, and now you don't have the time or stuff like that to be able to do even more. And as well, you can start from trying to think of a better word. I'm going to say cheese off your audience, because you're always shouting out, different sponsors, because you've paid, someone's paid you a small amount to give them shout outs and stuff like that, or they expect that, and you're there. So, 1 minute it's the electrician, 1 minute it's to someone else, 1 minute it's someone else. And you're just like, all sorts is going on there. And your audience then go, well, all they do is just promote other people's businesses rather than actually being social. And that's what we want on social media with our marketing and our brand. But moving on into number two. So the second kind of way then for you to make money is through coaching and mentoring. I mean, this is such a great thing for people in sport, because no matter what sport you're involved in, no matter what stage you're at, no matter what it is that you do, there are skills, there's knowledge, there's expertise, there's experience that will benefit someone else. And you can package this up in a way where you do the likes of one-on-one coaching. It could be group coaching. It could even be, mentoring and stuff like that over Messenger. I mean, you have so many different options there, but you can put together a small little package for whatever kind of price you want to help people move up through and help them, benefit. And, things as well, like just thinking outside of the box, it could just be a case of, if you're involved in like a team or a club or something like that, and you're trying to get more money into the club, where you're coaching a mentor, and then could be around people who are inspiring to join that club as a sports person. You could be putting different kind of coaching and mentoring packages together to help them actually come through the ranks and get to the kind of professional level, or, move up through to, being a starter or something like that. Your coaching could be that you're, say, an analysis or something like that, and you're going to help people who are inspiring to be an analysis, or you can help then, semi-pros and pros and amateurs and stuff like that by showing them exactly what people look for in the analysis, like why you put that analysis together. And the same with the likes of, coaching and stuff like that. I know we had a few people kind of messages as well who coming in who are semi-pro footballers, but also do the coaching on the side as well. And that can be fitness coaching. It can be bespoke, like goalkeeper coaching and stuff like that, where you can put coaching and mentoring packages together to really help people. And it doesn't mean you have to spend all your time coaching people. It could just be that you're supporting them. And that's what we kind of put it as mentor. And, it's just helping them along the way, guiding them, showing them what's right from wrong, keeping them away from, the kind of sharks that are out there and stuff like that as well. Just, giving them the benefit of, your knowledge and your expertise. If you
And
want
I think golfers have this down to an absolute, I was going to say absolute T then, but that wasn't intended. Because if you look, every time you go to a golf course, you can book a lesson with the resident pro. So therefore, for 50, 100, 150, whatever they charge, they'll go out and play around with you or coach you. So it's absolutely there. I also think that there's opportunities, like Jamie said, to do stuff online. A lot of teams these days, even amateur teams, even the team I coach, we've invested in things like video cameras now. So therefore, we can record training sessions, games, stuff like that. So therefore, the players submitting, say, footage to somebody who's much further up the pecking order than them, to ask them for tips of where they should be, how they should stand, whatever the sport is. Absolutely. And again, that kind of coaching and mentoring, a little bit of a tangent, but I know obviously Mark said about being part of a club. From a commercial point of view, I've mentioned a camera, so there are obviously, you can have a video camera and you can actually sell access to the live stream. So therefore, for away games, things like that, you could actually sell season ticket away, access to cameras. So therefore, people can still watch the games whilst they're not physically there. So it's another little income stream. There's a company in Sweden, I think it was, I was talking to with one of my clients who do that exact thing. You can actually film a game from a mobile phone and then sell access to the stream, and say £5 a game or something like that. We were actually talking that Mark at the time could go on walks and talk about mental health and resilience and things like that, and we're going to do it as a walk with Mark type thing as a Paralympian. But coaching and mentoring is absolutely key. You look at the likes of Joe Wicks, and personal trainer. Jamie and I have talked about him before, where he'd turn up on a Sunday and he'd record a session and literally put that online. This all goes again to building your audience and building your value, because all of a sudden you're imparting your knowledge, and the moment you start doing that, people will stand up and pay attention to it.
Yeah, 100%. That's the thing, isn't it? You start, it has to be there, for people to be able to go ahead, and then you market it in a way that lets people know exactly what's going on. I love that kind of thing with the camera as well. And, I guess that's one thing to kind of mention is like, look, everyone, everyone here, everyone in the kind of sporting world, they're all going to be at different stages and wanting different things. And the whole kind of point here is that we give you an overview, but everyone is going to be looking at bespoke for them to look at exactly what it is that they're trying to achieve and putting together those steps in order to achieve it. Let's move on then to number 3. Now, this is one of my favorite. I love the sponsorships. I love the coaching and stuff like that. But for me, being able to set up a business or align yourself with a business, it's just worth its weight in gold. Because within your kind of sport, whatever it is that you're doing, again, that whole kind of knowledge and expertise, can you relate that into something else? Or do you have the income there that you can fund buy a business? Do you have the passion there that you can start a business? If you can start building a business whilst you're playing sport, or whilst you're involved in a job within sport, and at some point that will come to an end, you always have the business to fall back on. And it doesn't have to be a massive business or anything like that. It can just be small. It could be online businesses and stuff like that you can set up. It could be that you set them up that someone else runs and you're just benefiting from it. Or you can look at the alignment side. Now, the alignment side is pretty cool, where you relate your brand to a business. So you can take a piece of a business. So you could speak to a business owner who maybe is, that they're ticking along, they have a nice business, they're looking to grow. And you can say, look, the brand that I have, the influence that I have, the attention I get, I can get more customers here. But instead of getting a commission or something like that, I want a piece of the business. And you can have that chat there where you're not liable for anything that's happened before, or costs or anything like that. You're just getting a slice of the profit moving forward. And then what you can do then is obviously go out to say, look, this is my business now. This is what we do. people come in and buy, you're making money without actually being involved in any part of the business. Set this up with a few different sports people over the past couple of years. This is so good. I think, this whole kind of part here, if you can get this right, you could do this with 3 or 4 if you really wanted to. But I know, Matt, yourself, I know yeah, exactly. I think like
so it's diversifying your income and having those extra pillars at the end of the day, because I've had friends who have played in the Premiership in terms of rugby, and I know that they've then ended up getting injured, and quite long-term injuries, needing surgeries and stuff. And because of their contracts, they've then had their salaries slashed because they've been injured, and literally you're talking of 20,000-30,000 pounds slashed off it because they've been long-term injury. So they've started other businesses. One in fact, is a dog trainer, and now he's actually finished. He's quite a successful dog trainer, and just kind of growing that kind of stream as well. So it is important to align yourself with businesses. I was talking with an ex-England cricketer the other day who's now retired and is heading into the world of finance. So again, just looking at those other opportunities from a club point of view, aligning yourself up with businesses that you could be earning money on the side. So by sending your audience there, by sending your fans there, getting, it kind of goes back a bit to the sponsorship and commissions. But if you align yourself with these businesses, have an interest in them, then it can be a really nice two-way street that gives you another income stream and another pillar to your business.
100%. That there as well. I can remember a footballer that doing the same thing, moving into the kind of finance area. Where they wanted to train to become a financial advisor, so that when they left, the kind of sport, they had a job to go into, and they kind of partnered in a way where it was just like, if you've ever seen that, there's that series with The Rock called Ballers, and like the story there is that he's all kind of NFL player. He's retired now through injury, and he joins a financial company, but they only take him on because they're like, he knows all these people, and he ends up running the place because he's The Rock, even though it's a make believe series. It's just The Rock smashes it, right? But with that, it's just that exact same thing. Look, if you have influence, if you have attention, and it doesn't have to just be a fan base there as well. It could just be, your teammates, the people around you and stuff like that you can have that influence over them to, go with a financial advisor, go with a pension planner, a will writer, a dog trainer, whatever it is. You have so many options there. The great thing that I like with business and alignment here is that once you kind of set these up and, like you said, diversify and stuff like that, it takes the pressure off because you have options. And this could even be, in the beginning as well, if you're moving up through sport, it just takes that pressure off, because what happens, like you said, if you get injured or something like that, if you need to get back because you want to keep your place there, you want to, keep your money coming in and stuff like that, you're going to rush back. And if you rush back, that can cause even more injury and stuff like that, or even just the mental health side of, getting back into it when you're not fully ready and stuff like that. If you remove that pressure, then you give yourself so many options in what you do. And then we move into the fourth one here, which is products and memberships. I know this is a place for you, Matt, as well. I know you've done a lot of memberships with people in the sports kind of world. And, I know there was one as well, where, again, diversifying, they, ex-athlete, and they now do the whole kind of like commentary, punditry kind of stuff. But you've helped them set up a membership on the side that makes them money through what they do.
Yeah, and this is the thing, again, it's leveraging your expertise and things. So I helped former Olympic swimmers, for instance, create an online membership platform, not to teach people how to swim, but actually just to get a certain demographic fit again using high-intensity workouts. All nice and simple, 15-minute workouts, but they've built this platform now that people are paying them on a monthly basis. Again, it goes back to what Jamie was saying earlier. You could be a footballer, you could be a striker, and you could be, you can have your own kind of striker academy type process where you're teaching people how to strike the ball with a bit of fitness, all that kind of stuff. I'm not a big football fan, so you can probably tell. But again, memberships are an incredible way of actually generating more income. So, I'm going to pick on Mark again because he put it in the comments. But from a club point of view, yes, you've got season tickets, but you could diversify and almost create a business club. So therefore, before games, you can have, people having a meal, networking opportunities to grow business, but it becomes a premium. I've seen clubs do that where they're charging 150 to £200 per seat to be at a pre-match lunch, and then obviously seats for the game. But it's a business club, so therefore there's networking opportunities and like-minded people there. So there's always an opportunity to add something into the mix from a membership point of view. And the beautiful thing is that it could be reoccurring income, whether that's on a monthly basis, whether it's a quarterly or a yearly basis. It could actually produce you a steady cash flow because, again, picking on Mark, if you've got a youth team or you've got a young fan base as well, you could actually have an online membership platform, because you can have all your players record a little training session for people, and people pay £5, £10, £20 a month to have access to that, so that little Johnny can actually learn how to play football online, watching his idols. Because let's face it, every club has a passionate supporter base, that these opportunities are there. Or even if you're a growing or a budding sports person, it's an ideal opportunity that as you're going on that journey up, that you can actually create this membership platform. You don't have to charge ridiculous amounts. And I've seen some people do. When I worked with, say, Sam Warburton, for instance, when first started working with him with one of my other clients, they just started the SW7 Academy. And I think it was probably around a tenner at that time. Now it is more £30, £40 a month. I think even they have packages of around £70 a month to do things. So you don't jump to the top. You start slow, you build up your audience, and then you kind of ramp it up from there. But you do the numbers. If you have 100 people paying £10 a month, what's that, £1,000 coming in on a monthly basis, 12,000 a year. Obviously, if you're trying to fund a club, £1,000, yes, it's helpful, but you probably want tens of thousands of pounds. But again, it gives you that idea that actually looking for that extra opportunity where somebody can spend money with you on a monthly basis, it is fantastic, and kind of goes back to the whole value proposition as well, and the why of going, what are you offering to the end clients, and kind of why are you doing it yourselves. So, and again, there's sponsorship opportunities within there, because again, you're building up your audience, your membership, that if you say to somebody, well, I've got 1,000 paying members here, sell kit through it. So therefore, there's a kit deal where you've sold sponsorship on the kits. You've then, you might be selling supplements because you might be doing a fitness app or something like that. So there's all opportunities that once you build that membership, you can diversify, and you can do the sponsorship. You can align with businesses. You can, earn commissions off other bits and pieces as well. So yeah, memberships are a fantastic way of generating stuff.
I totally agree, and you hit the nail on the head there, where it's like, look, things intertwine within this. You can start making money and start using that to make more money, and just give yourself different options into moving into different places and stuff like that. Memberships, I mean, we're talking about this in sport. I think this just in the whole kind of business world, or individuals that want to make money, that whole kind of recurring income, that passive income thing, I think that's top of everyone's list, right? Get paid to do next to nothing. What people don't tell you is obviously, look, there's some work to begin with to then build up that momentum, exactly like you said, Matt, to build up to where it is you need to be. The product side of this is pretty cool. Where you said there about like a training session and that, you could sell products in a way where you could sell information guides, giving people the information on doing things themselves. You can put videos together and sell videos. You could put together a course. We mentioned coaching and mentoring, where you could put that into a little program that people can do online by themselves and stuff like that. I've recently seen this lady in the States. I think she's a footballer, and she has just like a ton of books, like information guides, one on like striking, one on tactics and teamwork and all this kind of stuff, right? And they're all kind of priced individually, or you can pay a membership subscription to get access to all of them. It's all really cool stuff. That kind of stuff as well, just with the memberships. I mean, that you can put memberships on just about anything. And like you said, that whole kind of intertwining part to maximize exactly what it is that you want to do. That there's just so much there. And like just on that product, I was just saying, and that lady in the States, there's a guy I know who he's a footballer. He's at a UK team, decent team. COVID hit, and they basically got rid of most of the people in the academy. He got one of these kind of scholarship things to go over to the States and play in the university in the States, and now he's kind of moving through that pathway to go into the pro game through the States kind of setup. You could easily put together a course, an information guide, even a program to help kids who want to do that route, to let them know all the kinds of ins and outs, just like the small things, like you have to get another mobile phone with an American number, because only WhatsApp works, but nothing else really works if you're kind of going over there and stuff like that, or it costs an arm and a leg to do so. But like bits and pieces like that, your knowledge, your expertise can help people. People will pay for that information because that's helping them transform from where they are now to where they want to be. And then we'll move into the fifth and final one here, and it's just to productize yourself. We spoke about your marketing, your brand, creating your personal brand. Well, the reason is, once you have that personal brand, you can leverage it in different ways. You could start a podcast and start getting listeners along to that. Again, look at ways to monetize it through sponsorship and stuff like that. You can do YouTube videos. You can interview your teammates or interview different people. You can get to a certain sort of following with on YouTube, and then you can start to monetize it through ads and give yourself different options there as well. You could write a book. You can publish your book on Amazon this month if you wanted to, if you had it, written already and stuff like that. There's so many options there. And I know, Matt, you were running through a few examples of people with personal brands and stuff like that who have done this kind of stuff in the kind of rugby.
Yeah, I mean, I'll big rugby supporter, and if anybody kind of follows rugby, then or even if you don't, he's kind of moved into the mainstream a bit more, is someone like James Haskell. That when he was a player, yes, you love him or hate him, but he'd written a couple of books, nothing serious. Now I think he's releasing his fifth or sixth book. He's got the Good, the Bad, and the Rugby podcast. He's got his YouTube channel, all these kind of things that have then led on to other bits and pieces. And you may be thinking, well, James Haskell or professional rugby player, but it doesn't matter, because starting a podcast, for instance, isn't that difficult. You can record it over Zoom like this. You could just do audio. For teams, you could be interviewing your players, because let's face it, your supporters want that inside scoop. They want to know what's going on. They want to know how training's going, what the coach is like, what the day-to-day routine. So having somebody follow one of the players with a camera, and it could just be a phone, because these things are good enough these days to start. It's about doing something that you could follow somebody, a day in the life of person X, from getting out of their car in the car park right the way through to the training session, having a bit of dinner afterwards, refueling, talking about all these different bits, getting the content out there. Because if you get the content out there, whether it's a podcast, YouTube, book, video on TikTok, anything like that, it's all getting out there to build your audience. And again, if you build your audience, you can leverage it with memberships, with products, with aligning with other businesses, sponsorship then, because all of a sudden, if you've got an audience of 20, 30,000 people, because you've got a podcast that you've grown and grown and grown, and again, you're not going to hit upon a viral podcast or viral video straight away. It's going to take a bit of time, but as soon as word starts spreading that you've got a video, you should check these out, it'll grow and it'll get more traction for you. But they're great ways, and they're very simple ways of just being able to just do it. Simple as that.
I love it. Like, it's exactly that, isn't it? Make a start, just do it. You don't have to, spend time, getting the right equipment and spending lots of money and all this kind of stuff, or even struggling to do it yourself. You've got people out there who can support you and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Going back to COVID hitting, I can remember working with a few different clients there, and obviously sport just stood still. Some people were getting paid, some weren't. It was like, okay, what can we do? And it was all about, look, maximize your brand throughout lockdown. And one of the big things we kind of looked at there was like a chat show, and I had people doing this on Instagram, people doing it on YouTube, recording videos and stuff like that. like, you know, just doing the whole kind of Instagram thing where you just go live with someone else. But what we did there as well, we had a cricket captain of like a decent club and stuff like that. They ended up getting paid in where they got furloughed, so they got paid some money and stuff like that. But they what he did is he just basically started doing a chat show with the rest of the team. You know, so he would interview, you know, another team member, you know, tell us a bit more about you, what you like, and all this kind of stuff. So much so that when it came to contract negotiations not so long ago, all that kind of stuff he brought to the table. You know, more people know about the club, more people know about the players. We're getting more sponsorship through the club now and stuff like that because of the stuff I'm doing. You know, so my influence now, well, what's that worth to you? It's a different kind of topic then when you can show them the data, you can show them all this kind of stuff, and that works on all different kind of levels. You know, again, going back to that guy who went off to the States to play football and stuff like that. I can remember saying to him, like, the way you need to be positioning yourself now is you're a small business that is looking to be acquired by a bigger business. You're going into the universities as just a player. You're looking at a pro club to take you on. So all the stuff you do now has to tick the right boxes to obviously be seen in that kind of way. And it's the same for you with anything that you're looking to do. Look, you start small, but looking at a bigger picture, whatever it is you're trying to work towards, what's the first step you can take in the right direction? You know, and that's what it all comes back to. Exactly what you said, Matt. Just do it. I think Nike loved that, right? I mean, they got the right words there. You know, whoever came up with that kind of brand strategy was spot on. You know, because that's exactly it. But that's the kind of 5 ways there. Obviously, talking about your marketing, your brand, going through the 5 ways. That what it all comes down to, really, you know, is your next step, and what should be on your next step is to make more money, right? Whatever way that you want to do it, whatever the reason is, basically just go make more money, right? Do the right things, make the right kind of steps, make the right moves in the right direction to look at where you can start making, you know, that income to give you the choice, even just to let you start doing the passion the sort of projects and stuff like that that you want to do. And I saw this quote as well from Michael Jordan. I think this is the same with like, look, just do it. Is that some people want it to happen, some wish it would happen, others make it happen. You know, you just have to ask yourself that question, like, which one are you? You know, with this kind of web class here, we ran through different options. There's so many options there. There's definitely one, there's more than one that you can start doing yourself, that you can start doing today if you really wanted to, but you actually have to go and make it happen. So coming back to that why, that ask yourself again, look, why is it I want to do this? What is it I want to do? Surely by some of the stuff we've been through, there's something that's just like, yeah, look, this is what I want to do now. This is what I'm going to start putting in place. Let us know in the chat as well, like, what is it that you're going to start doing? And obviously, look, we'll run through some questions in a bit and just see if we can help you. But you know, the real thing here is like, look, do you want some help with someone on your side, someone helping you to make that next move? Is exactly what we do here. You know, at Consulting for Sports, is that we work with athletes, we work with people in the sports sector to help them make the moves, to help them get exactly it is, whatever it is that they're trying to achieve. Okay, so what we look at doing here is help them from where they are now to where they want to be. And we do this through a product, a service that we call Sports Mentor. We've been doing this for quite some time. We've never kind of put it publicly. We're going to be putting it publicly. But what we thought we'd do is for all the kind of people that signed up for this web class, the people that have taken, you know, the time to come on, and the people who are going to be watching it and stuff like that, that we thought we'd just let you hear about it, let you know about it now. And what Sports Mentor is a 90-minute strategy session. This will either be with one of us or with both of us if we can do that. And what we look at here is, look, what is it you're trying to achieve long term? Where it is that you are right now, and what's available to you? You know, what is it that we can do within the short term? We look at that goal, and then we break down an action plan to help you move basically forward within the next 30 days to get you on that track, get you moving towards exactly what it is that you want to be achieving. And like we've said already, look, so many people will have different sort of ideas, different situations, you know, whatever it is that you're trying to achieve. The whole point is putting a plan in place to help you achieve it. You know, if we don't have the right direction, then we're just wandering around aimlessly trying to make things happen. With a plan in place, we're going to make it a reality. So this is what we do in the 90 minutes. You get the recording as well. And obviously, look, you get support then without the 30 days as well. So obviously, look, if there's anything where you're just like, look, you know, this is what I want to chat about. This is knocked me off track. What do you suggest? This has happened, and they're negotiating and this kind of thing. What would you guys do? Look, it's all there for you. Okay. Now this here, We're about to roll it out at 495. So we're going to put this out publicly and stuff like that. There's obviously only so many spaces that we will able to be able to fulfill over the next few months. But again, to reward the people basically watching this, we're going to basically run an offer for you guys, which is 50% off. So you can take one of these sessions at 247. So again, giving you that massive discount there. But there's more. You know what we're going to do also for people here is we're going to put in a special bonus as well. So mentioned right at the beginning, we have the marketing gym. The marketing gym is to help people with their brand, their marketing. We do this with fitness instructors and gyms and personal trainers, but the actual information in there is all about the sports sector, you know, and it looks at helping you to put the right things in place with templates, with tactics, with videos. There's 24 months of training that you'll get with training opening up each month and stuff like that for you to follow along with or go in at any time, you know, to go back onto some of the training. The support in there as well. It's worth it's priced at £29 a month for 24 months. So basically you get almost £700 free of this information here. You'll get that added in when you take the sports mentor. So this is the deal here. 50% off if you get involved today. It's 247. Matt, I think, you know, if you could chuck a link into the chat and stuff like that. For the guys that you can just pick a time. I think we've got time up until the end of January. There's only so many slots that we've actually allocated. So once you kind of pick a day and stuff like that, I think that day or part of that day will disappear. And then once so many get hit, then that's basically all of them will be blocked out. So make sure that you take advantage of that. You will then get added. The marketing gym will be sent to you. Login details will be sent to you by email on Monday. And obviously we can get into that session whenever it is that you want to, whenever it is you book it for. We look forward to helping you with whatever it is that you're trying to achieve, making it a reality. And the whole point here, look, is there's someone on your side to make things happen, okay? It's not a session where, you know, we're looking to sell things to you or, you know, trying to, you know, take advantage or anything like that. It's unbiased. You know, we're going to give you the real answers. We're going to help you put a strategy in place to actually start achieving the stuff that you want to achieve. Okay, it's as simple as that. If there's something that you want to achieve and you know that with having someone on your side to help you achieve it, it's going to happen. It's going to move you along a lot faster, you know, than if you were doing it yourself. Then obviously this makes sense. You know, get involved. Click the link, go and basically pick your time and stuff like that. You'll get sent a receipt. You'll get sent all your kind of links then to join us at the time that you have stated. And obviously we shall look to see you then. Matt, I don't know if there's anything else you want to add from what we've run through.
I think from my point of view, it is that real unbiased side of things. I mean, you know, it's just tapping into our kind of resources and our kind of experience. You know, like I said at the start, I've done projects with people like the RFU, Lord's Cricket Grounds, kind of sorted out all of their databases from their ticketing through to everything else to help them to market better for hospitality and earn more money and put bums in seats at the end of the day. Because whether you're a club or whether you're an individual, it's about building that audience, and kind of certainly helped a lot of companies do that. I mean, talking about sponsorship, many years ago, myself and kind of the company I was working with helped Swansea City get 32 Red back in the day when they just got to the Premiership. So there's all manner of different kind of things bouncing around in this head, and I know in yours, Jamie, that, you know, it's just, you know, if you got questions and not sure about things, then, you know, we're a resource to be kind of used at the end of the day. And why do we get into this? Because we both love sport. And you know, if I don't have to deal with other clients and I can just deal with sports clients all the time, then, you know, that's the passion right there.
Yeah, that's exactly it, isn't it? I mean, look, we both help businesses of all levels over the years, and we know that, you know, it doesn't matter what size they are, what sector they're in. We follow the same processes, and it is boring. You know, with the sports stuff, there's so much variety there. But the big thing is that, look, we're not just helping another CEO add another holiday home. You know, we're actually helping people change their lives and follow their dream and achieve it. You know, or help them just, you know, remove the stress, remove the pressure, of exactly what it is that they're doing right now. I mean, just like, Matt and myself are talking with a guy, the other month, and every time we spoke with him, just always stressed out, right?
Yeah.
It's too much on. It's like, well, look, let's look to simplify it. Let's make your life better. Let's make things, that kind of way. But that's the offer there. I mean, we'll probably put this available for a day or two or something like that, just for people watching the recording. When the slots are gone, they're gone. You can obviously still take advantage, but it'd be the 495, and that will be without the marketing gym as well. Yeah, I mean, Matt, is there any questions, or anyone who's still on and stuff like that now? If there's anything you want to run through, if you want some input from us, drop the message into the chat, or press one of the buttons to raise the hand or something like that, and come off mute, and we can start answering some questions.
Yeah, or even have the things that we've actually covered made sense. So if you want us to apply anything to your particular kind of field or sport, then ask away.
Yeah, definitely. I think got a question like from earlier there where we had someone who's in football where they've basically been at academies and stuff like that, but not been able to kind of break into like a full-time contract, and they're looking around for clubs and stuff, and it's just like, what can I do to market myself? And it's just like that. It's exactly that. Look, it's market yourself, like showcase yourself, like let people see what's in it for them. It comes back to that whole kind of thing, like I said, with sponsorship, for example, is that if you're just kind of putting out sponsorship opportunity, people are just going past because they're just like, oh, okay, what's the opportunity? They're never getting in touch to find out what the opportunity is or anything like that. And it's the same thing, like if you're a player and you're trying to find a club or something like that, instead of just saying, I'm looking for a club, like, go a bit further, go a bit deeper. Start contacting people as well within, certain clubs that you want to go to. So if you're in a certain area, again, that whole kind of 3 to 15 mile radius, what clubs are within that area, who can you start contacting and just saying, look, I see that you work at this club, who do I need to speak to get a trial? Is that kind of thing, who do I need to send my video to, to get a trial and stuff like that. It could be that you productize yourself, where you start putting clips and stuff like that of you training on YouTube and stuff like that, and showing other players and that. It could even be then that you start putting together that whole kind of mentoring thing to show what happened, why you didn't actually get through to getting the actual full-time contract and stuff like that, what you would have done better, what you could have done, and helping people that way to give yourself some income to help you then go to trials and stuff like that. Because there is always a give and take. Like, you will get people, like I said about the boxers and stuff like that, especially when they got in, turning pro, they have fees that they have to pay for, medical fees and licensing fees and stuff like that. A lot of them are working full-time in a job, could be in a local supermarket or something like that, or doing some sort of like fitness training with people, and then they need to basically train as well for the upcoming fight. So it's like, if you can do something to bridge that time, that you don't have to be working a full-time job or going out of your way to do stuff, you can get income in, it gives you more time to train in and actually apply to your sport. So I hope that helps.
Yeah. And I mean, from my point of view, when looking at any kind of sponsorship or income for sports, it is different from the normal business side of things, because there's a lot more passion kind of involved and emotion involved in it, because you can tap up the supporters who could become sponsors quite easily. It's just, again, making sure that you align with what they're wanting and what you can offer them. But again, I was going to compare things to that kind of virtual handshake, and getting that virtual handshake, they're already halfway there, because if they're a supporter of the club, then it's just kind of making sure that you're making a sensible offer, that they'll just say go for it, no worries. And those are the first people to tap up, because a supporter will put their hand in their pocket to help you. And it's just a case of, well, how much and what the value is to you, really. So yeah, obviously, as James said, look, if anybody's got any questions, then tap us up on LinkedIn, message us any which way that you can. We've got email addresses. obviously we put the link there for the sales mentor thing as well. So yeah, just drop us a line, and we're more than happy to jump on a call and help out.
Yeah, definitely. Have a look at the chat, mate. I've seen a few things kind of tick up my end. I don't know if it kind of shows up your end, but yeah, message us directly, on the socials, and we've also, like you said, email address, info@consultingforsports.co.uk. Get through to us that way, and yeah, like anything we can do to help, let us know, and we'll be happy to give you our view.
Simple.
Yeah,
but thanks for joining us today.
And yeah, exactly.
Check out our next ones as well. So we've got a couple of nice ones planned as well, to help you drive things forward.
Yeah, exactly. So look, follow the page, wherever you found us before, if there's LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, wherever it is, make sure you follow us to see, the events which are coming up. And yeah, look, hopefully we'll see you then. So, hope you enjoyed this. Let us know if there's anything you want covered in future ones as well. Let us know, and we can put that in. But for now, appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah. Cheers, guys.